Let's bring Bill Daly in on this. Bill's a former FBI agent and Control Risks Group's senior vice president. It's good to see you, Bill, even under, I guess, these circumstances. But, Jennifer brought up a number of interesting points there. And one was that fact that we're so focused on Washington that the authorities, and I'm sure this is bothering people at the FBI, are worried now about other cities and other state capitals and other places that, if we take our eye off the ball, or our resources even, should we be worried about other parts of the country over the next week or so?
Yeah, it is something, Connell, that the FBI has put notice out to various state governments, letting them know that this could find its way into and around their either capitals or other major cities. It's something we talk about. Jennifer, speaking about the security in and around Washington, D.C., certainly around the event itself, the inauguration event, because it is a level 1 national special security event. It's run by the Secret Service, DOJ, as well as DOD providing support. That in and of itself is going to be very secure. It's the periphery areas, where the periphery is just in and around the Washington, D.C. area, or as we just suggest, periphery kind of pushes it out into major cities. That's where the concern is, that where you don't have that presence, where you don't have those trained professionals in crowd control, where police officers may be limited to their kind of smaller staff or people who have been trained in crowd control and don't have that support. That's where the concern is. That's why the FBI is monitoring various kind of chat rooms, background noise, any information that comes about that may give more information to state and local governments as to how they can quickly respond to an incident.
Yeah, the Washington Post had a report this afternoon that dozens of people who are on the FBI's terrorist watch list came into D.C. on the 6th. Now, if that's true, that, many of them, they say, were suspected white supremacists, but people they knew of the past activities. What would you say about the idea that at least some of this seems to be an intelligence failure? Is that fair?
Well, it could be intelligence either. It doesn't sound like it's probably intelligence lack of gathering. It may be, dissemination, getting it to the right people in order to get the right resources. And I think right now, leading up to inauguration, again, because of the special protocols in place around being a special security event, and also the fact that actually they've moved up the timeline. It was moved up the other day by authorization by the White House in order to provide some more support early on. Normally, this type of support wouldn't kick in probably till today or tomorrow, but it kicked in a couple of days ahead of time. And hopefully that kind of meshing of all these resources together, preparation time, will give authorities in Washington the information they need and be able to disseminate it more quickly and accurately. And I think the command and control around these special security events, whether it's something like this, whether it's around the Super Bowl, there are a couple of other major events around the U.S. during the course of the year that are classified in this way, they do have strong command and control. It's run by people who are used to dealing with large events, large crowds. They're well prepared. They do a lot of practices, tabletop and other types of exercises. So right. I'm confident around the event it's going to be good. The concern is, as other people expressed, what happens when these kind of fringe groups are in the same city and maybe not at the inauguration but elsewhere, and do you run into an issue where they confront each other.
All right, Bill, we'll keep watching it, and it's always good to have your expertise with us. Bill Daly, formerly of the FBI.